Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Firstly, thank you for tuning in. What we'll be doing today is showing you guys where we're at with the fabrication for the car. I'd say we're probably 75–80% done with it. Trav's been awesome. It's taken a little while. He sort of got sick midway through, but yeah, we're sort of getting to the pointy end of it now. So I'll show you guys where we're at, and we can go from there. So looking at the car, it's obviously changed quite a bit since you guys last saw it. But yeah, I'm really stoked with how it's looking. So last time you guys would have seen, we didn't actually even have a radiator in. So that lower support has been made and the radiator fitted up with the fans, which I think I did touch on about how we mounted them to the radiator, which I will show you guys later. I guess next is the intercooler piping. So that's the cold side pipe in 4-inch alloy. It does step down to 3-inch under the guard there, so not sure if you guys can see. It does step down and go into the intercooler there. So yeah, that's that. Only thing we've got to add to that is the intake air temp, which I've got a little bung there, we'll just get welded in. Hot side pipe is done as well, just in 3-inch. It's not on the car at the moment, but it's a very simple, you guys will sort of get that in there. You can see it's quite a little pipe, yeah, a couple of bends on it, so that's all sorted as well. The screamer pipe is done off the wastegate, and as you can see, dump pipe has been started. It's just tacked at the moment. And goes out through the guard. I can't remember if I did actually update you guys on why we were going out the guard. I know I spoke about going down behind the engine and notching the firewall there. Looking into it, it was a lot of work, and at the end of the day I just decided we're going to go out the guard. It's going to be a lot easier, so that's why we've gone that way. What I'll do is we'll have a quick look, show you guys where we're up to with that. The way we've made that kickback is for tyre clearance at full lock, and also we've managed to fit a V-band there. From that we are going to step down to 3.5 inch to go underneath the rail. So that's with a, what size are these again? So they're only a 165/80 R15. Ideally I would like to put a bit of a bigger tyre on, so because these wheels do sit in a long way, I'm actually going to space them out. So basically we've just made it clear with the way they're on now, and then when I do space them I will have no issues at full lock. That was sort of the only real concern with doing it the way we've done it. We moved the rack over as not wanting to use the starter motor relocation. We had to move the rack over to fit the starter in. So what I'll do is I'll go up and we'll have a look at that. Alrighty, so I'll just grab my torch, probably a bit hard to see under here. That's where we are at with the starter and the rack moved over. Now, and try and sort of show you guys the clearance that there is. It's not massive, but there is clearance there. And if I move that rubber boot back, there is actually a little bit more clearance. So that's where we're at. Those mounts are just tacked in at the moment. So as you can see, we have sliced into it there. That will get welded up, but it gives you an indication of how far we've moved over. So it's about 30 mil. And this side is the same. So if you look at the slice mark here and then look where that actually is now, it's about 30 mil that we've moved the rack over. So I'm going to have to massage the inside of the rail here just a little bit to get clearance. Essentially plenty of guys have said they've done it, so what we did was moved it till we had clearance from the starter, and then we knew that we're going to be able to get the intermediate shaft on. We just may have to massage that rail a little bit. The engine bay isn't painted, so it's perfect time to sort it out. So yeah, we'll get that done. So that moved the rack over. I am yet to change this rack end but yeah, you do put a longer one in. I have to double check. I believe one of the guys I'd spoken to had said something about a VT end or maybe VS or something. I will double check that. While we're under here, get a bit of a better look at that dump pipe. So yeah, the reason we've had to sort of kick it back this way is for that full lock, and then it will be coming down sort of this way and heading under here. So that's where we're at with the dump pipe. So this is a perfect chance to show you guys the lower support that Travis made up. We've mounted the radiator on the factory rubbers in the top. You can see there. And then the intercooler just has some tangs, or some tabs, sorry I should say, along the bottom. So that was awesome. And then just a couple of little gussets for strength. You guys might notice there, this intercooler pipe doesn't quite line up. Now that is my mistake. We are going to have to fix that. Upon removing the K-frame to do the rack, I didn't really notice at first, but when it came time to put it back together, I only had 8mm bolts in here. I didn't even realize, and they should be 10mm. So the engine wasn't actually sitting exactly where it should be. It was only about 1 millimeter or so, but it was enough for the engine to be off. So we put it back in, and yeah, sure enough, we'd already made this intercooler pipe, and now you can see how far off that is. So Trav is going to have to cut that and fix it, so he's cursing me for that, but thankfully we hadn't done the dump pipe or anything else yet. So yeah, that's my mistake, but that will be sorted very shortly. And here we can see the screamer pipe. So there isn't a lot of room. Everything is quite tight, but I guess that's just the way it is. So one other thing as well, we did actually take the manifold off and cut the flange and sort of tilt it so the turbo would sort of go from this position to further that way, as I did have very tight clearance between here. After, unfortunately, we did all that, welded it back up. I got the flange machined again, so it was all nice and straight. It was really good, but then once I moved the engine back over, we've ended up super tight there again. So I actually think that with the engine in the right spot, the turbo probably would have fouled on this, yeah, with it, you know, from the manifold. So again, it's a pain because we just did it all. I don't want to do it all again, so I probably will just look at massage that to have a nice little indent. Same with that spot there. But yeah, it's something I'm just going to have a look at before I paint the engine bay. Because yeah, I don't want to be cutting the flange again and having to get it machined again. It was a bit of a saga, so yeah, a little bit frustrating, but it's my own fault and could have been way worse at the end of the day. So yeah, I probably won't pull that radiator out now because it was pretty easy to see from underneath what it did look like. Top and bottom hose, I did just get off the shelf. I don't know, I may change this at some point. It does work really well. Same with the bottom. It's a little bit sort of tight in here, but it's no sharp edges or anything, and that works really well. So those hoses, what I'll do is I'll show you the part numbers. So that part number there is what I used for the top hose and just cut it down. So that's a Gates 05-0922, and then that was the bottom, which actually fitted perfect. I didn't have to cut anything. So that one is a 05-0917. Yeah, so I was super stoked to get them and not have any issues really with fitting them, not having to put any extended pieces of pipe in to change angles and that. But yeah, probably the best is the bottom. It does fit perfectly. Like I said, top, it's a little bit tight. I mean, it's a little bit sharp there, but it's not closed over. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But I think the car is starting to look really good. So then we will finish off this dump pipe hopefully this week. Trevor will be back for that. we'll just get it to underneath the car. Not going to do the exhaust for now. At least I'll be able to run it that way when the time comes, and then I can look at finishing off the wiring, and probably from there I'll then start having a look at doing this underbody, grinding it all back and doing the Raptor lining and stuff. And then probably at the stage where I'll be pulling the engine, I'll sort that intermediate shaft clearance out, and then maybe look at getting the bay painted. Once that's done, everything will be going back in, and we can start doing things like fuel lines and brake lines and all of that stuff, and actually look at getting the car running. So that'll be it for this video, guys. I know it's a pretty short one, but just to keep you guys updated with where the car's at. If you do enjoy, please like, subscribe. It all helps and adds to trying to grow the channel. Yeah, all right, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.